Hi, so I just wanted to jump on here. I was debating between doing a Facebook Live, but I don't want this to just be available for 24 hours. Just got back from a conference and it was very motivating, very uplifting. So there was a few messages that I wanted to share to my family, friends, followers, all of it. And it's something that was important to me. So that's why I wanted to be able to place it on my page and not have it for that 24-hour time period. And like I said, it resonated strongly with me. Maybe it'll resonate with you. But yeah, so this is basically, I just want to sit down. This was heavy on my heart, and I just want to have some real talk with you. So I just got back from a conference in Arizona. It was amazing. I was surrounded by all these multimillionaire CEOs, entrepreneurs. Listening to the speakers was absolutely incredible. And there were two speakers specifically that I wanted to talk about and let you know the messages that I got from them. So the first person is, and sorry, I took some notes because there was just so much to be heard, but Dean Graziosi, he was awesome. One thing that he was talking about was loving what you do and knowing the impact behind it. So a lot of his messages were about being able to talk to people on what it is, what your business is about, what it is that you're selling, and not being a salesperson, but giving people the knowledge behind what it is that you stand, giving people the knowledge to the business or the services that you're providing that you stand confidently behind. And he was saying, love what you do and know its impact, and your passion will naturally come out. So this resonated with me because for those that are familiar, maybe those that are not familiar, I did start a business, a little side hustle with Arbonne a few months ago. I love it so much. It's products that I use on a daily basis. And one thing that I've noticed is that people are not as receptive to hearing things when they think that it's a sales pitch. And I am the most far from being a salesperson ever. I've never liked sales. I never wanted to be able to just sell somebody on something if I don't believe in it, or just like to get money or make profit or whatever. Like, that's not me. And that's kind of why I'm here, because I don't know how many of you, and you could press like since I'm not actually on a Facebook Live right now, but like, you can like this post if you've ever gone to a restaurant. Okay, so let's give you an example here. But like, say you go into work and people are like, oh, how was your night? And you say, oh my God, it was awesome. My husband and I went to this Italian restaurant and it was absolutely delicious. Like, it was the cutest little place. The service was great and the food was awesome. And maybe you go into like a huge spiel about like what it was that you had. Maybe it was like some type of seafood bowl and you're like, oh my God, it was the biggest bowl of seafood I've ever had. And it wasn't just pasta. There was so much like shrimp and mussels and all this thing and all of this food inside of it. You're going on, and then that person is like, oh my God, stop it, you're making me hungry. And then they maybe end up going with their husband or wife to that restaurant. You don't get paid for that. And that's okay. You're just giving a recommendation, but people are receptive to that. But the minute that you put a title behind it, and I did a post on my Instagram about this, but for my Facebook followers, I don't really communicate with you that much. I'm just not that active on this platform, so that's why I'm making this. But the minute you put a title behind it, I feel like the mindset shifts, and you think, okay, it's just about money, it's just about profit, when really it's not. A lot of the times we're not receptive to it when people are just trying to give us information. I know for me, I'm just not that type of pushy person. So if I mention something to you like, oh my God, you're talking about how your skin is so dry. Have you ever heard of Arbonne? And maybe they say no, maybe they say yes, and I go into it. If they say it's not for them, that's the end of the conversation. Or if I see that somebody's really healthy and I reach out to you and I'm like, oh my God, I love your health post. I love how active you are. I saw that you're doing X, Y, and Z, whatever. I'm like, I have this coaching program. Again, the reason why I'm reaching out is because I have something that I believe in and that I love, and I'm just trying to share it with you. So again, if you're open to that and you're receptive, like, sure, send me some information. Awesome. If you love it, I love that. Like, that's amazing. But if you don't, and you're like, I'm just not really interested right now, cool, that's fine. I'd love to follow up with you later. So that was really huge because I think, and this is the real talk right now, but something that I've been struggling with, and that I was able to hear from Dean was that he was saying, don't back away from a sale, lean forward. Because instead of being embarrassed about asking, what we should be embarrassed about is not asking. Because if we're so confident in what we're trying to give to people and we're so proud of it, why be embarrassed about it? So I know that that's something that I've been struggling with. I had a fear when I first started this business. I had a fear of what people would think of me, that fear of judgment, right? Like we don't like to have people think negatively of us. So me being able to reach out to people, and some people don't want to respond, some people, again, are not interested, and that's totally fine, but that's something that I've had to battle and grow some thicker skin to deal with that, because again, I shouldn't be embarrassed about something like that. Like I'm proud of what I'm doing, I'm proud of what I'm using, and that's like, I am using this stuff too, so it's not like I'm just trying to pin something off that I'm like, oh yeah, I heard about this, like you should try it. Have you ever done it? No, I don't use that stuff. No, that's not me. So that was just something that was huge and it resonated with me. And moving on from today forward, I have a do not care attitude. So I think that's just huge, and maybe this resonates with you, not specifically with what I'm doing. Maybe it's something else that you're going through, another type of business that you're doing, or just maybe you're trying to be healthy yourself and you're scared to post your progress on social media because you don't want people to think of you like, oh my God, why is she posting pictures of herself in a sports bra? Or why is she going about boasting all over social media her feelings? Like, if you're doing something positive, share that. I think there's not enough positivity out there on social media. There's just a lot of nagging, there's a lot of complaints, there's just a lot of negativity, and that's really, I try to stray away from that. I've learned from my boyfriend to avoid negativity like the plague, like he always says, and it's true, because you don't want to surround yourself with that. So if you're proud of something that you're doing, and you're happy, like, tell the world, share it, and if people don't like it, let them unfriend you or unfollow you, because who cares? Just keep going after your passion. So that was the first person, and I'm trying to keep this short, but that was the first person I learned a lot from. The second person was absolutely amazing, and I strongly recommend that you listen to his podcast. His name is Dr. Sean Stephenson. He just blew me away, and if listening to him speak, you can literally hear a pin drop because the entire audience was just completely quiet, completely in a trance, listening to what he had to say. And the first thing that he was talking, so an overview of what he was talking about before I get into the details, but like an overview was just talking about loving yourself, and how it's the most horrible thing to see a human not love who they are, because we're all unique. Nobody's going to be the same as somebody else. So comparison, when we compare ourselves to others, just try to not do that, because there's always going to be somebody who's better than us, and there's always going to be somebody who's not as good as us. So love who you are, focus on self-growth, and self-improvement, and just focus on he talks about a formula to be unstoppable. So before being unstoppable, the one thing that he pointed out is there is a formula also on how to be miserable. And you might be thinking of how to be miserable. Why do I want to learn about that? Well, the thing is, a lot of how to be miserable, a lot of us are already being miserable every single day of our lives. And we're just continuing with the cycle of going through it instead of fixing it. So the ways to be miserable, and maybe you're laughing if this is you, maybe you're not, but focusing on what you don't want, focusing on what you don't have, and focusing on what you don't like. So breaking that down, when you're focusing on what you don't have, this is the envious stage. So this is where we're looking at other people, and because we don't have that, we're like, oh, I don't have money like Susie does, or I don't have a nice car like my friend Bobby does, or all those I don't haves, you're blocking. That's a negative mindset, that you're blocking any positive opportunities from coming to you because all you're seeing is the bad and you're only focusing on what you don't have. So we're draining ourselves when we do this. Second is focusing on what you don't want. So I know a lot of us do this. We focus on what we don't want versus on what we do want, which I mean, for part of it that could be good. It's important to know what we don't want in order to know what we do want, but try not to make this percent stronger than knowing what we do want. And focusing, and to give you an example, it might be like when you're looking for a job. I know I've definitely have done this before, and I've done like, oh, well, I don't want to do this type of work. I don't want to work on the weekends. I don't want to do this. And it's just like one after another of what I don't want. We're going to try to reverse that. And then the last thing is focusing on what you don't like. So focusing on what you don't like, this part is where we're complaining. How many of us complain all the time? Just think about how much of our time and energy is put into complaints, you know? If you really think about it, you might be like, okay, I don't really complain that much, but I want you to challenge yourself to take one day and really pay attention to any time you're complaining about something. It might just be like, I don't want to go to work this morning, or oh my God, like it's raining outside. How disgusting. I'm saying that because it's raining right now. But anything, pay attention to that, and then maybe pay attention to the people around you who are complaining. And you'll realize quickly, like, oh my God, I didn't realize how much time I spent or how much energy I spent complaining or being around somebody who is complaining. And when you pick up on that, you're going to notice, my hair, you're going to notice, you're going to just be open to it, and you're going to notice how much you are surrounded or how much you're not surrounded by it. And it might just be like somebody, maybe it's a close friend or a relative that you speak to often, and then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I didn't realize that so-and-so spends so much time complaining. And that also is draining us. So what we want to do is we want to try to flip these three things. So the formula that Dr. Sean Stephenson was saying is how to be unstoppable is, one, having impeccable self-care. So really focusing on your mind, your body, your spirit. Do the things that you like to do. Maybe it's going out for a run, being active, being physical. Maybe it's just reading. Maybe it's taking a bath. Whatever it is that you do, self-care is so important, and so many of us don't do this. I think we're focused on the hustle, the daily grind that we've got to go from start to finish. You get into bed and you're like, I'm just so exhausted, or I'm so drained. Try to start a new daily challenge for yourself of just taking maybe an hour out of that day to do something that you really love doing, and see if that makes an impact for you by the end of the day. And maybe you want to even journal about this to see how you're feeling. But self-care is important, because when you don't take care of yourself, you'll notice how everything around you just kind of turns to shit, and everything is just like going the wrong way or going the opposite of what you want to be seeing. So self-care, number one. Number two, align with your self-purpose. And I know a lot of us also struggle with this of why are we here? Why were we born? What is our purpose? Figure that out, you know? Whatever it may be, maybe it's really big, maybe it's really small. Discover what it is that makes you happy, what you feel your purpose is on life, and just go after that. Don't focus on all the what ifs, like what if I fail? What if people judge me? What if? The what ifs just cloud our mind, and then we don't end up making any type of progress because we just get engulfed in those what ifs and we can't move forward. And the last thing is surround yourself with empowering people. So that quote my mom used to tell me, and she got it from her mom, but tell me who you're with, or show me who you're with, and I'll tell you who you are. And that is so true and so powerful, because the people that you surround yourself the most, you typically start to take on their habits, the way that they talk, the way that they think about things. So if you're surrounding yourself around negative people, maybe you want to take yourself out of that group, or just kind of put a barrier between how much time you're spending with that one person, and try to find the people that lift you up, the people that support you and motivate you. So if you have really great ideas or really great dreams, don't be around the people that are the naysayers, the haters. Try to restrict that and limit how much you're around them. Try to be around the people that are like, yes, let's do that. You want to open up a gym? Awesome. Let's look for places. Or let's save money. Let's do this. People that want to actually take steps with you or just give you advice on how to get there. That's the people you want to be around, because I don't know about you, but whenever I'm around positive people, and my boyfriend's one of those, like, I'm so happy that I'm with him because he inspires me every single day. He motivates me every single day. And not every one of us is as fortunate to have that. And I totally understand that. I am totally, but like, try to find that person. Go looking out for more friends. Go look into communities or groups that you could join to find that type of person, the type of groups that you want to be around, that you enjoy doing. And you will eventually surround yourself around the people that bring you up. But that's huge. So when we have a compelling future, we'll just naturally see us being pulled forward instead of being pulled back. The law of attraction is everything. It really is. So whenever you're thinking positive, you're going to see positive results. So we really just want to reverse that mindset and be appreciative and live in that unstoppable formula instead of the miserable, because gratitude and misery do not hang out. So that is kind of just what I wanted to share with you. That was heavy on my heart. So much that I took away from this conference, and I'm just so excited to take what I've learned and run with it with my business and grow just personally, professionally, everything. So hopefully this helped you also. And if you do hear from me reaching out to you about Arbonne, just be open to it. It's okay if you're not interested. I'm not going to take offense. Maybe it's not for you now. Maybe it's not for you later. Who knows? But just focus on your goals, and I hope that this helped. Bye.